Hey, what's going on, beer lovers? Welcome to another episode. Today we are reviewing a beer from Stone. It is called Soaring Dragon. It's an Imperial IPA brewed with white tea. So if you're ready to see what we think of it, stay tuned. Hey, welcome back to another episode of Let's Have Some Beer. I'm Jeff.
And I'm Jacob.
And today we're reviewing a beer from Stone. Stone was kind enough to send me a little care package. And this was one of the beers that came in that care package. It is called Soaring Dragon. It's an Imperial IPA. And one of the cool things that they do when they send beers is they give us little tasting notes. And I just want to give you guys a little input on this beer. So the people from Stone went to Tianshan Tea City Market in China and actually found this white tea variety. It's called White Peony Tea. And basically they fell in love with it. They decided they wanted to make an Imperial IPA out of it. Personally, some of my favorite IPAs have tea in it. There's the Thai Tea Far Out from Bootleggers.
That's a fun one. I was thinking of Gun Whales, If Tea by Sea.
TF by Sea was my
really
number
good.
one of like 2017 or 2018. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
Black tea, green tea, white tea. I don't know if I've ever had in a beer, so I'm really interested.
White tea isn't as common. I have had some white teas before. I love tea. My wife and I purchased a huge tea order during quarantine, and we have been very happy with all of them. Harney and Sons, if you go to their website, they have a phenomenal selection of teas. I recommend that. So I am always excited when two of my favorite beverages combine. I think tea and beer are definitely something that should be combined more often.
Yes.
I understand that tea is definitely more of an Asian thing than it is for our Western palates. But if you want a quick history fact, tea used to be the drink of America before coffee took it over. So Americans were drinking tea for a long ass time. So let's get back to that shit.
Well, and to be honest with you, I'm definitely one of those people that fall in the coffee over tea category for my morning like fixer-upper. However, I love tea and coffee. I feel like I really haven't had like a beer with tea in it that I didn't enjoy. I do feel like it's like ebony and ivory. Like, they just blend so well together. It just makes me happy. So let's go ahead and dig into the aroma first.
So this really reminds me of a Stone beer. I can't quite think of exactly which Stone beer, but there's something about the aroma that if I had it blind, I feel like I'd still be like, oh, is this a Stone beer?
What is that sweetness that's on the nose, man? Is that the white tea?
No, I think it's the hops.
Wow.
And that's why I'm saying it smells like a Stone beer. There's just something about the way they use hops that just comes through. This
they get it right every time.
Yeah.
All right, let's dig into the beer.
Yeah.
Cheers.
And it also tastes like Stone beer. There's just something quintessentially Stone about this.
Yeah, that's so weird. Huh?
Yeah.
I've had enough Stone beers. Like there are some beers that are made by Stone to where anybody could have made them, but yes, you're right. This one is
Stone.
Quintessentially Stone. It's almost like they have their own signature stamp whenever they use hops. That's just like only Stone does hops this way.
Kind of like Sierra Nevada. It has a very similar profile.
I would love for you to talk about the white tea flavor in this, because I'm getting the tea flavor, but I don't know if I know how to articulate this properly.
I feel like I'm so distracted by the hop character of this that it's a little hard for me to be like, nail the tea right away. My tongue just immediately diverts to the hops. This is quite hoppy. This is definitely an IPA.
It's an Imperial IPA by the guy's way. By the way, guys. 8%.
This 8% is a good range, but I still taste so much hops in this beer.
Yeah, so Stone didn't really give us any notes on what hops they used in here, but there is definitely some bittering. But the one thing that I really want to note is that white tea flavor. Although it is kind of overshadowed by the hop bitterness, there is like this really unique flavor that's coming out of this beer, which I can only attribute to the white tea. I don't know enough about tea to really articulate to you guys what it tastes like, but it's almost like a soft, slightly like vanilla-esque floral kind of vibe. It's almost like silky, it's semi-sweet, it's semi-floral, but it's good. I like it.
Yeah, there's definitely some floral notes going on that I do really enjoy. I personally am a big fan of black tea. I would have loved for them to use a black tea instead of a white tea. Not that white tea is bad. I just feel like black tea has a bit more of that backbone. Whatever hops they use are pretty strong.
Yeah.
So to me, I would have wanted a little bit stronger of a tea to kind of hold its own. I don't know if, maybe that's just because I like bold teas and like bold beer. So maybe it's hard for my palate to like kind of balance those all in one drink. I don't know. That's just what I like. That being said, it's not a bad beer. It's definitely tasty. I just myself, if I were brewing a tea beer, I would use a black tea.
I would agree with Jacob, although I like the story behind how they discovered this tea. Like, literally, someone traveled to China, tried a bunch of different tea. They found this White Peony Tea that they really, really enjoyed, and then they built a beer around it. It's really cool. The beer itself, it's enjoyable. It is a nice combination of hop bitterness and tea flavor, but I would agree with Jacob in the fact that the hop bitterness is overpowering the tea flavor. And we've had enough tea flavored beers to really understand like what gets us going, what gets us off, like we need some potent, amazing fucking tea flavor, and there are some breweries, especially locally, that have killed that. I don't feel like Stone really reinvented the wheel with this beer, but I will say I've never had tasty white tea, so it is kind of interesting. And I mean, I kind of want to drink more beer with white tea in it just to really understand that flavor. But black tea for me in a beer is like the ideal.
So even me, I consider myself a pretty avid tea drinker, but even myself, I haven't had a lot of white tea. So the average person out there, especially the average beer drinker, I don't expect has had a lot of white tea. And I think that's kind of why I wish they'd just had a bolder black tea with this, because you would kind of get more of those notes out of it. But white tea is really good. If you have the option to buy a white tea, do it. I think it's great. For me, right now, oolong is probably on the bottom shelf for me. I drink an oolong tea and I'm less excited by it. I've had some really great green teas lately, but black tea is still my favorite right now. So, no.
I'm not a tea drinker, but when it comes to beer, it's like black tea definitely hits that sweet spot for me. I know a lot of you out there don't necessarily have a lot of access to unique beer styles. We live in Orange County, so we're spoiled little bitches. I would say if you go into your local bottle shop and you're looking for a tea style beer, this would be a fun one to try.
Yeah, it's definitely fun, for sure.
I think they sell this in a 6-pack format, and Stone doesn't overprice their stuff, so I feel like it's worth a try, man. I mean, like, stop this episode, or, well, it's too late now, but maybe re-watch this episode while you're drinking it and see if you can pick up on the same notes that we did. I would be really interested to know if you guys have tried this beer before, what you guys think of it. Maybe we're missing something. Maybe there's something majestic about this beer that we just completely flew by? I don't know. Stone comes out with a lot of amazing beers every single year. A lot of times they introduce some of those beers into their normal rotation once they hit like that peak popularity. I feel like this one's just gonna kind of fall by the wayside.
But I don't want them to stop experimenting with tea. I really want them to keep it going because I think tea and beer has a bright future ahead, and I really hope Stone continues on that path of experimentation.
I totally agree with Jacob. Stone, if you're watching this, keep brewing with tea.
Please.
Keep playing with it. You guys are really going to find something really, really good. This is still a good beer. I just feel like it's a stepping stone into what you guys could discover beer-wise. Like, really, you guys could create something epic. And this is a good, foundation.
Oh,
there we go. Foundation for what you guys are doing. So there you go, guys. That is our review of Soaring Dragon, Imperial IPA brewed with white tea.
Yeah.
If you enjoyed this episode, please give us a thumbs up. Share with your friends. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel. We appreciate the support. It helps us get more exposure. And it's encouragement to make more episodes like this one. Thank you again, Stone, for sending us the beers to review. We really enjoy it, and I can't wait till the next shipment. You guys always put out some really good products, so thanks again. With that being said, thanks again for watching. I'm Jeff.
And I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you again on Let's Have Some Beer. Cheers. Hey, what's going on, beer lovers? Welcome to another episode. Today we're reviewing one of the Stasis projects from Bottle Logic. It is one of their most popular. It is called Paisley Cave Complex. So if you haven't had this beer or want to know how the 2020 tastes, stay tuned.